the best tool for serious carriers. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to get 20% off Load Board Pro for 6 months. Need capital to grow your business or cover unexpected expenses? Rock Financial has your back. Whether you're looking for a flexible line of credit, a fast cash advance, or tailored working capital solutions, Rock Financial makes it simple to get funded, often in as little as 24 hours. No hidden fees, an easy application, and real support from people who know the business. Ready to take your hustle to the next level? Tap the link in the description to get started with Rock Financial today. Wish insurance was this easy? With Log Rock, it's like magic. Real coverage appears when you need it. No tricks. Get covered now. Click the link in the description.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up? Come on in, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. If you are in need for commercial insurance for your semi-truck, box truck, cargo van business, there's a link in the description below for Log Rock, up for renewal, looking for a cheaper insurance alternative. I'm going to get that right one of these days. If you're looking for a cheaper insurance alternative, there's also a link in the description below for you for Log Rock. Make sure you guys click that link. Log Rock, official sponsor of the show. Come on in. Make sure you guys click that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. Shout out to who we got in the building. Shout out to Sage in the building. Shout out to all the MGM. Let me see. Hold on. I don't like the way that look. Oh, why that look like that? Shout out to Sage in the building. Shout out to Valise. Shout out to all the MGM gang members in the building. Shout out to Rich, MGM gang member in the crib. MGM gang member. What's going on? Cordell, MGM gang member. Shout out to iMerify DD, formerly known as DDD Truckers. What's going on? What's up? Shout out to Shark Life. What's going on? MGM gang. Shout out to Kelvin, MGM gang member. Lloyd, what up? Shout out to Box Truck Tone. What's going on? Shout out to everybody. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. How's everybody doing this Tuesday afternoon? If you're in the Midwest, up north, it's snowing. It's been snowing the past couple of days. I see Shark Life say the snow ain't stopping no motion. I feel you. Up here, the snow don't really bother us. The snow don't bother us. It's them guys down south. They don't like the snow. They don't know how to drive in it. They scared of it. You dig what I'm saying? Up here, the snow ain't really stopping nothing. Up here, we know how to get to it in the snow. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm glad you out there rocking and rolling. You dig what I'm saying? So come on in, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Today we're going to talk about something. You know me, I guess you would call them the controversial stuff, which to me is not really controversial, but it's just, I don't know, man. You got that line I always talk about, that line in the sand. You're going to have people over here, and you gonna have people over there. And as much as I try to help the people over there, a lot of times you got some people, they don't get it. They make excuses. They want to argue with you. They want to say envious and hateful things. And that all coincides with why they on that side of the sand. And they hate when I say that. They hate when I say that because that shit hurt, and I know it hurt. But the only thing they got to do is change their mindset. Poor is a mental thing. When I tell man you poor, I don't be talking about people's financial. I be talking about their mindset, because if you have a poor mindset, then you're going to be poor financially. You see what I'm saying? So it's all with your mind, how you look at things. This is why, when I focus on like CPM, or if I focus on like working capital, you always got that group of people that just want to make excuses. They're going to continue to make excuses, and then when you dive deep into their shit is fucked up, which is why they just got the mentality and that anger. I get it, man. When you fucked up out here, man, you just angry at the world. But you don't have to be. You don't have to be. You could change your mindset. You could change your mindset. So let me talk. I want to talk today. I want to talk to people who come from um humble beginnings, who come from the struggle, right? Um, and I wrote down some notes, and I may derail off my notes, and I may have to really kick it to you, you know, just with how this shit just come to me, and it may trigger some people. Now it doesn't only trigger people who on that side of the sand. It shouldn't trigger a person who may be on that side of the sand who want to do better. It's the people who on that side of the stand that want to continue to stay on that side of the sand from complacency and just complain. They want better, but they don't want to do better. Debt is dangerous, right? One of the most dangerous lies that I see on the internet as it pertains to entrepreneurship is the idea that debt is a tool. All right. It's true, but then again, it's a lie. It's half true and it's half deadly, right? Depending on who you are. Now, I've touched on this before in the past, but I haven't really gone deep into it. We're going to go deep into it today. And I may derail. I got my talking points, my bullet points, but I may derail. So if I derail, because I feel like I may have to derail. I think somebody gonna say some. I feel like somebody gonna say some. I might have to go there, right? Now, this is something that a lot of people don't want to admit. That debt, is a tool. Debt is a tool for rich people. So when I see a lot of people listen to these influencers and they carbon cut copy or they mirror or they parallel these ideologies and these teachings of some of these more popular influencers like your Grant Cardones and shit like that, and their particular audience is people of color, whether it be Hispanic, Black, or just people who come from struggle. That it doesn't have to have a ethnic or a color makeup. There's people that come from struggle from all different walks of life, but they mirror these ideologies and of debt being a tool to a demographic of people where debt is a hindrance. Debt, especially coming into a business, especially a business like this, it's a trap. It sounds good. It's good motivation, but it's not going to work for a person who comes from a certain walk of life versus this other person. One is the mindset. Most people that come from this specific walk of life, they're not even financially literate to even understand how to efficiently and successfully use and leverage debt. And I'm going to give some examples today. Wealthy families use debt as a tool. Poor families are used by debt as a trap. You see it. Majority of people in here come from the struggle. Majority of people that are watching come from the struggle. All right. Now, when you look at this scenario, wealthy family, poor family, right? Let's say as far as coming into uh, 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 the box truck business, is looked at totally different. See, I gotta really, because somebody said something to me in the comment section last week. And they said, Mark, you don't make content for for people with bills. And to me, I just didn't, to me, that makes no sense whatsoever. To me, that person said that out of a lack of understanding. Because at the end of the day, the competitive landscape of business, like your plight, it don't matter, bro. And this is what I don't understand, and this is why I don't understand what people don't understand. And this is why I'm saying your entry into this business versus another person's entry who may come from affluence, may come from entitlement, who come from wealth, is different. That it don't land on a blank slate. And I think when I hear a lot of these people talk about I'm veering off, man. When I hear people talk about these credit hack things and, just go, like, people be coming up to me like, man, I'm just gonna borrow the money. I'm gonna get a business loan. Right there, it lets me know you don't even know what you're talking about. You haven't done any research. You're not financially literate, because if you've done a little bit of research, you would know you just can't go into a bank and get a loan for a new business venture. The bank is gonna give you the money. It's hard to even get a hard money loan and you haven't started. For most hard money lenders, you gotta be in business at least 6 months to a year. That lands on emergency reserves. It lands on your income stability. It lands on your family obligations. It lands on your stress tolerance, your margin for error, your access for help. It's different when a person who comes in with wealth, affluence, capital, it's different. They have cash reserves, multiple streams of income, paid off assets, safety nets, family safety nets, lower interest rates versus a person who comes in poor. They can borrow money cheaper. Money is cheaper for them versus you. Money is cheaper for them versus you. They have backup plans. When I be difficult with a lot of these guys that come up with these lack of plans and these ideologies that they learn from these people on the internet that really don't have their best interests in mind, I really be trying to help them. And a lot of these guys, they get upset because they don't realize I'm really looking out for their best interests. And the reason they really don't realize it is because their mindset is poor. And they're going to continue to struggle. When a poor person takes that in comparison to a person who comes in with wealth and affluence and capital, they have no savings. So they're already in a fucked up situation, and now they're taking on more debt because of something somebody told them. That's why I say make sure you got working capital. The more fucked up you already are, the more working capital you need. If you piss poor and you want to start this, then you need more working capital than the person that isn't. Person who comes in piss poor, they only got one income stream, and it's 9 times out of 10 is probably this. Your cost of living, you still got your rent due every 30 days. You got kids. Your kids are still dependent on this one source of income. You have higher interest because if you came in piss poor, we already knew how you acquired the truck. Either you're paying a high rental rate, right? Or you financed the truck. You went to Penske, you went to Ryder, you went to Enterprise, and you financed through a third-party hard money lender. They don't deal with traditional banks. You're not going to finance a truck through BOA. You're not going to, Chase isn't going to finance your truck. Wells Fargo is not going to finance. Ally's not going to, they don't do commercial used financing. It's too risky. You're going to go to one of these riders, Enterprise, Penske, they're going to send you through a broker and they're going to deal with one of these top marks or one of these types of companies who already determined what they want to make off the deal. You're going to go buy a truck for $60,000. When you do the math, at the end of the term, you're going to pay $100,000 for it. We've looked at these deals over and over and over again. You don't realize it at the time because they tell you $16.09 a month, $17 a month, and you just look at the 17 and then you base that off what your favorite content creator told you when they said they generating $10,000 a week or $8,000 a week. So you look at $1,700 a month. It's nothing until you really, really get out here. And then a year later, when you underwater, then you go back and do the due diligence and realize that a truck that you thought you bought for $58,000 or $56,000, once you done times that 17, 18, whatever it is, times 60 months, you're paying $96,000 for it. Now do the math on that. Why? Because a financially literate person, a person who is cash flow heavy, would never make that piss poor ass decision. Ain't no fucking way in the world I'm ever doing no shit like that. There was a guy in my comment section who laughed at my trucks. And I've done a little research on this motherfucker. He ain't even in the business. This motherfucker driving for somebody else. It's people that get upset when you tell them, or when I tell them to go get an older truck, because I understand the margins in this industry. But there's content creators that tell them, no, go get a fairly newer truck because brokers ain't going to deal with you. And I say, well, it's more than one broker. I'm not going to let one broker or a couple brokers who have a threshold on a year vehicle determine what my profit margin going to be. I'm going to determine what my profit margin going to be. And my profit margin is going to be based on my cost. If they don't want to deal with me because I got a 2012, right, and they require a 2017, then I'm just not going to deal with them. But I'm not going to let one person determine what my profit margin is going to be in a very competitive market that's very volatile. This is a volatile industry in comparison to any other market. Trucking market, stock market, crypto market, housing market, volatile. You may be right. I don't make content for people who have bills. I make content for people who have common sense. I make content for people who want to excel and want to succeed. Doesn't matter what their social makeup is or what their financial status is. No bailout plan. They don't got a bailout plan. Why? Because this idea of starting a box truck is really a desperation move, especially when you coming in with no working capital, believing that you can succeed already not having nothing and then putting yourself more in financial strain and debt because you didn't have a plan and you didn't have working capital. And then you find yourself in these TikToks and in my comment section when I kick this shit to you and your feelings get hurt. It's only the people who's moist in their heart that their feelings get hurt, because what I'm telling them is not wrong, but it's the fact that it speaks directly to their soul. And instead of it hitting them in their soul and saying, yo, this shit makes sense, I got to do better, I got to come with a plan, they still want to fight it. And it's like I always say, cool, because we need you. See, Real business people, we don't mind getting it with you or getting it off of you. We don't mind getting it with you because we know it's plenty out here to get. We don't mind getting it off you because we understand we got to get it off the backs of somebody. It's an ecosystem for a reason, economy for a reason. Everybody can't be up here. We need people down here. The people down here do the things that the people up here don't have to do because we can afford to pay you to do it for us. The question and the answer is where you want to be. You got people that's right here in the middle. The people that's in the middle don't have to do the shit that the people down here because they can afford to pay you to do the shit that they don't want to do. People down here continue to complain. They want to remain complacent, and then they want to blame the people up here for their shortcomings, which is cool. But here's the thing, you could do better. You just got to change your mindset. So you got the same debt for two people that come from two different walks of life, two completely different survival environments. Switch cameras. Now, let's talk about a person who comes in wealthy, box truck business, any type of business, a little bit more financial literate, right? There's shock absorbers there. Something that the person who's financially illiterate and poor doesn't understand, especially when they listen to these guys that selling these dreams and send them off the clip and fuck them up worse than they already was before they even set out to do this shit in the first place. And this is why I say you need cash flow. Come in with cash. Cash is king. That same ideologies that work for rich, wealthy other people don't necessarily work for you. Just don't. You know what happens with a wealthy person comes into this business? They got shock absorbers. What are some shock absorbers? Family, savings, credit lines rotate, other businesses float. Remember when I said in 2017 when I started cross docking and I kind of, bit off a little bit more than what I can chew initially because one, they just wasn't paying as quick. That money wasn't rolling in as quick as when you do 3PL, you got to kind of wait for those settlements to close from the retailer. I didn't really understand that at first. And then I didn't understand some of the costs that were associated with it, right? That I didn't really include initially. And the moving company had to step up and bail out the final mile company. Now, if I would have started cross docking initially with no other company, no prior knowledge, no other business that was a monetary vehicle, would have never survived 2017. So that's a great example of another business floating the losses of a business that hit a bump in the road. Moving is a cash flow, a lot of cash. So I was able to float it. If I didn't have that vehicle, that would have been it. When you have cash flow, truck breaks down in the early phases of your business, it gets repaired. You don't miss your insurance payment. And I talk to a lot of people, bro. Just what you see online, I talk to plenty of people offline that reach out to me. insurance lapses. Wealthy people, people that come in with cash flow, don't have these issues. You would be surprised how many people insurance lapse. I have the data because LogRock is a sponsor of the channel. And I'm not saying specific data. I'm talking about just data. A lot of people aren't paying their insurance consistently month after month after month. There's a lot of lapse in payments. Wealth, people don't skip their payments. They damn near had that shit on auto pay. They don't panic. You don't see people that have cash flow in comment sections writing long Bible scriptures, just complaining and angry and upset. You don't see them in TikTok comments and Instagram comments and YouTube comments and Facebook groups just complaining, saying that the industry is trash and trucking is trash and it's messed up and they keep doing this and they keep doing that. The reason why they keep complaining is because they don't have any cash. People that are strapped for cash are some of the most just unhappy people. And I get it. I understand it. But where I don't understand is when you come into business, you put yourself in that situation. That's why I always say you can't come into a business broke. Personal life broke, unhappy. I get it. Shit happens. From a business perspective, especially on the new, when I promote and I preach working capital, I don't get it. You put yourself in that situation. You put yourself on a plate for something. You served yourself up on a plate. So how you gonna sit up here and complain? Especially to a guy like me who don't give a fuck. I don't care because I understand what it takes to make it out here, both as a man in real world and in business. A lot of these guys that be complaining that I see complain, they living off a woman. You living off a woman. You ain't out here in the world on your own. You can't never stand next to a nigga like me. Ever. You living off the backs of a woman. And this is why when I talk this shit, they get upset and they don't understand because they don't get it. They don't have what it takes. When you say, man, you got to take food off people's plate, they literally think I'm walking in your house and just snatching food off your kid's table. No, I'm taking it before it get to the table. It's never going to make it to the table. You served yourself up for me. You served yourself up for your competitors by coming in with this piss poor mentality and these dumbass ideologies that you follow from these people that's in the same situation as you, that don't have their best, that don't got your best interests in mind, and the shit that they selling you that you think you buying to succeed in this industry. No, where they got you as was the point of sale from whatever this cookie cutter shit that they got off Fiber in the form of a goddamn course or an ebook. They got you already right there. And I'm not saying that there's not no good ones out here. I'm pretty sure there are. But coming from humble beginnings myself, being cash, having working capital and staying down and building it up is the best way for a person who has limited resources. Because here's the thing, if I come in with the cash and let's say it doesn't work out, I walk away like this. Sell the truck, take the loss on the truck, whatever, and I can recoup some, but I'm walking away like this versus a person who listen to this shit, goes out and buys the dun-da-dun because you already financially illiterate. That's why you put yourself in that situation. You went and financed this truck with this hard money lender. You failed. You still on the hook for that 90. Yeah, you bought it for 50, 58, but you didn't realize what you signed up for. You still owe that 90 or that 88 or that 90. And they want this. They coming for it. Plus the credit cards and the personal loans that you took out, right? Because you let somebody hype you up. Now you still a person who still got this family. Why put yourself into that why put yourself in that situation? This goes back to what I say, risk tolerance. You already got a low risk tolerance. So if you got an extremely low risk tolerance, why would you go do something that's at a more heightened risk? Well, you didn't measure your risk tolerance. You don't even know what risk tolerance is. And this is why you're always panicking. This is why you're always complaining. And the complaints fall on deaf ears because a person that's still active and operating, they don't want to hear that shit because they too busy grinding. The people that's already made it don't want to hear the shit either. We don't care. The people that are out here getting it, the people that already got it, we don't, none of us care. We don't care. Because at some point we've given you the tools or we've told you what you needed to do and you continue to want to, I don't know, be naive. A person who comes in with cash, right? If a contract goes away, they reposition. They restructure. There's cash there. While they're repositioning and restructuring, there's cash there. If they can't find something in a certain amount of time, they may refinance. Or because they have cash flow, they just wait. The point, what I'm saying is a person that has cash flow versus a person who comes in that doesn't. Person who has cash flow, a person who comes from wealth, right? Wealth. Let me not even say cash flow. Let me compare the difference of just wealth versus non-wealth. They can absorb, whereas the poor person can't, or the person who comes from humble beginnings can't. When you come in from a poverty-based debt, now don't take poverty literally. I'm comparing wealth versus non-wealth when you're looking at this business because a lot of people follow this rich person's ideology, and that's cool once you acquire things. But when you don't have nothing, that shit don't. I'm telling you, it don't work, bro. Poverty versus debt only works if nothing goes wrong. And if you live in the real world, even outside of business, we know. Now, the people who live in La La Land, and I'm telling you this, and I'm finna get under some people's feeling. I'm trying to purposely get on your feeling. You know who the people who argue this shit, and I say they tell on themselves. The reason why these niggas don't understand this shit is because they not really out here paying bills. They living off the backs of women. They ain't paying no rent because the chick got Section 8 and they eating for free because of the link. And that's why Buddy called up here last week. Angry and shit. But I'm telling the truth. I finally figured it out. I'm like, why these motherfuckers, like what they must ain't got, like what world they living in? I finally figured it out. It's a motherfucker to pull me like, man, you know they living off abroad. I said, bingo. Because a motherfucker who really out here, that's living in the real world, that's going to the grocery store, that's paying mortgage, that's paying rent, that's paying utilities, that's really standing on that shit, and they would never say no shit like that. Because they out here, they experiencing it. It's a motherfucker who ain't never experienced or ain't really experiencing what this shit is that would think like that. A person who experiences it ain't gonna never put theyself in harm's way. Motherfucker don't want to be homeless out here. It's cold in a motherfucker outside. It's 24 degrees outside. I'm not finna put myself and risk it all to be outside in 24-degree weather. Because I was really trying to figure out, like, why motherfuckers think they could do this shit with no working out. Like, who would take that risk? Kevin said, damn, Mark, that's rough. It ain't rough, it's the truth. It's not rough, it's the truth. Because I really had to get to, like, how does a motherfucker think who's doing that dumb shit? It ain't rough. If the shoe don't fit, you ain't got to put it on. Because what we know as adults that live in the real world, business world, shit gonna happen. You got to be prepared for it. If you don't think that, then you a goddamn fool and you ain't living in the real world. You living off the back of another motherfucker, or you living off abroad. You ain't out here. Like they said, you ain't out here. Well, you ain't out here. Because if you was really out here, you wouldn't put yourself in that situation. And that's why you put yourself in that situation. Because guess what? When the shit fall, daddy government got you. Truck gonna break down. You gonna have slow seasons. Ain't this peak season? I ain't seen no peak season content. Ain't this supposed to be the womb bam thank you, ma'am? The run it up month? Different times of the year, fuel gonna spike. You're gonna have people get sick in the family. You may have to take time off. You might have to go away for a funeral. So family emergencies, seasonal downturns, seasonal crashes. We're about to come up on one. January is less than a month away. It's going to get extremely slow. You're going to have market corrections. A lot of people wasn't prepared for the market correction of a few years ago because of the ignorance. Things are going to happen. This is why you need cash flow. This is why you need to be cash heavy, especially if you come in from a poverty perspective versus a wealthy perspective. Outside of the business, things are going to happen in real life. And this goes back when I was trying, like, why do these guys think like that? They don't own anything. They don't know what it's like to, man, you know what? Risk tolerance. You know what? If I'm going to start this business, I need to make sure I'm cash heavy, because if something goes on with the business, what if something simultaneously goes on with the business and then something goes on at home? I'm an owner. Got a leak in the roof. Had a leak. Got to replace a floor. Pipe bust behind the wall. So now you go into a business with no working capital, very, very risky. You're already struggling. You don't measure your risk tolerance. A person who's in that situation is more than likely measuring their risk tolerance. That's why I finally figured out why these guys say this ignorant shit. They don't own anything. They living off the backs of a woman. Damn. Ooh, this finna hurt them. Ooh, they ain't watching now. When they watch the replay, just wait to the comments. Ooh, they gonna be hurt. They gonna hurt. They can't control themselves neither. And if the shoe don't fit, don't put it on. Watch they put it on. They can't help it. They gonna tell on themselves. Even with me saying this shit right now, they gonna be like, damn, I can't, cause then he just said they still gonna tell on themselves. I can't control it. That's why the scenario be the same when they call up. How y'all ever knows it's been watching for a long time? Now ask the question, you got about your boom. Yeah. You got kids, married? Yeah. Your spouse, your baby mama, your wife work? Nah. 2, 3, 4 kids. I don't know why it never dawned on me. Cause I'm like, bro, this ain't gonna be. Now it makes sense. But still in that situation, you still should want to ensure that the business has longevity. If you in that situation, you think I'm being hard on you right now or making fun of you. No, because if you're in that situation, you have leverage. Your cost of living is lower. But because your mindset is poor, you don't know how to take advantage of the situation that you're in to succeed, which further proves my point. You don't pay for rent. You don't pay for food. You're in a better situation. A little bit more sacrifice, a little bit more patience. You could go that way. But yet and still you choose to operate from a level of ignorance. There's no way that you're going to be able to see, and that's why you see the mass majority of people that come in this way fail. In order to succeed from poverty, with no money, with no cash flow, and succeed, nothing can go wrong. You have to have a perfect execution in an imperfect industry, and it's impossible because it's extremely volatile. When you come in this way, it's like damn near like, y'all, the people, when I ask them, do they have a business plan? No, they don't have a business plan. They look at this from the shit that they've consumed online as a lottery ticket, and it's just not. Most people that come into this industry, the way we see most people come into this industry, just undercapitalized, poor mindset. The volatility is what pushes them out. The crypto market has not been doing good, which I already knew. I've been saying that it's, it doesn't affect me. Why? Because I'm not holding right now. I'm buying. We've been took our profits. We've been knew that market cycle of bullish momentum was over. It's been over. It was over last year. But people are still holding on. Listen to these influencers. Every industry has influencers that send people off because they have their best interests. See, most influencers don't have the best interest of you. They have the best interest of themselves. So when I listen to these influencers over there, I know why they keep saying, oh, well, I think there's going to be another. We're not done. We're not done. How? I took my money and it collapsed. It kept going down. We're about 80, 85, 90% retracement right now. So now when everybody's losing, I'm buying because we've been took our profit. We don't hold on for hope. We don't hold on for dear life. We do our own research. We have our own understanding of what we're investing into. Why? Because at the end of the day, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. We'll consume what you're saying, but then we're going to put it in our back pocket and we're going to do our own research. It takes a lot for me to take what another person says at face value. You have to have deemed yourself credible for a period of time for me to just take what you say at face value. You have to have deemed yourself credible over a period of time. Just because you talk that talk and you seem cool or you know how to, do the marketing with the trinkets and shit like that, that shit don't work for a nigga like me. I'm from the crib. I'm not a middle American. I'm not going to let you send me off because I ain't going to have nobody to blame but myself. That's why I understand why y'all go to the internet and blame other people. Go blame yourself. Look in the mirror. You fell for the dumb shit. But even with that market right now, an extremely volatile market, people are complaining, right? But they held on to false hope. I'm buying. What do I always say? When people are greedy, you should be fearful. When people are fearful, you should be greedy. The best time to buy. Take advantage of your desperation because of your ignorance. Let me get that about you. Your opportunity, you miss your window. I told you we was going to get one. Didn't I tell you we was going to get one? Told you. Yeah, don't listen to this guy. All you need is Section 8 and food stamps and give your girl that date. I told you we was going to get one. Didn't I tell you that? Told you I was going to get somebody. Told you I was going to get somebody. I'm looking at everything this guy has ever wrote over the course of the last few months. What a loser. What a loser. In one of the videos, I must have said, if you unsubscribe, I don't care. He said, I'm unsubscriber to Mark. Why don't you care? Because I don't. Like, you being a subscriber, what is that? Like, okay, you either subscriber or you're not. Complacency for losers. He put, I'm a loser, Big Mark. You're weird. You've categorized yourself right here, and I'm just going to show it for people. Let's see here. How much of a loser you are. You're a loser. You categorize yourself as a loser. That's how do I let me, we'll just do this. We'll just do that. All right, we'll do this. I told you I was going to get one. And he's not trolling because all his comments are real like loser type shit. You know what I'm saying? Just real loser type nigga right here. Real pitiful type dude. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. I got you, big dog. Don't worry about it. Be patient. Don't worry about it, big dog. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. I got you, big dog. Don't worry about it. Every time we talk about mindset, I told you somebody was going to get hit in their heart. Now you got money in BlackRock, but you said you on Section 8 and this, that, and the third. See, hold on, I got you, big dog. Give me a second. Now you got money in BlackRock. I'm gonna help you out though in a minute. I just want to show something real quick, and I'm gonna help you out. Give me one moment. Where is that at? Give me a second. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you understand something in a minute. Give me a second. Where's? Hold on, big dog. I got a lot of shit going on over here, and I can't find the damn. Where's the window at? Where is that window? Where is the desktop window? Oh, here it is. Nope, that ain't it either. Hold on, big dog. I got you. Is this it? Nope, it either. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I got you. I told you I was gonna get you, big dog. All right, hold on. Let me see something. Sorry, big dog. Give me a second. We got a lot going on over here. All right, so let's share the screen. I'm gonna show people how much of a loser you are. These are all the comments, like the last comments you put. I'm a loser. I just got in a car accident, lost both my legs, but I still made it to the chat. The whole block just got shot up, but I still made it to the chat. I'm subscribing to Mark. Why don't you care? I love the way you say restructure. Yeah, don't listen to this guy. All you need is Section 8 and food stamps and get your girl that date. Like, you called yourself a loser, sir. All right? We derailing a little bit. Derailing is cool. It's fun. This is the entertaining side of the show. You called yourself a loser, sir. You're promoting poverty, bro, and we trying to get people out of it, bro. So either you a troll, which is cool, or you just poor, which is fine. But either way, you are the type of individual that I'm talking about. You are a person who, if you had something better to do, you'd be doing it. If what I'm saying doesn't resonate with you from a value perspective, you would change the channel or you would click off. Because a person who got motion is not finna waste their time on something that doesn't bring value. So when I say people tell on themselves, you are a great example of what I'm talking about. Because never would I invest time into something that holds no value or brings me no value. I'm just gonna keep moving. If I'm watching TV and I land on a channel and there's nothing there for me, I'm gonna change the channel. So you tell on yourself. Because a person with motion, they don't waste time. See, time is more valuable than money. See, you don't know that, right? See, you got a lot of time and you don't have any money. You don't realize and understand the value of time. Because if you did, you wouldn't say the things that you say. I know I got you. See, it don't take a lot for me to get you. Because people that have motion don't do goofy shit when we're having a serious conversation trying to get people out of poverty. And you over here saying dumb shit. We having a serious conversation trying to get people to change their mindset, and you over here saying dumb shit. Now it'd be different if we was over here talking about blue face or some shit like that, I get it. But this is a serious conversation. So I know you ain't got a pot to piss in, nor a window to throw it out of. You ain't got shit going on for yourself. You a piece of shit. You ain't got shit. And I can say that confidently based on your actions. Just because you throw BlackRock out because I call you out, don't mean I'm going to be like, oh, okay. No, nigga. No. I'm going to let them derail. This is the entertainment part of the show. This is the entertainment part of it. We got to do a little entertainment. You can't be all serious. So we're going to use him right now for the entertainment part that we're going to get back. When I open the lines, then that's when you can call in, nigga. I'm not finna stop what I'm doing to let you call in now. You gonna wait. I got the motion over here, pimp. When I open up the lines, then you can call in. We not finna give you no special privileges. This is what I need you to do, pimp. I need you to sit tight. Go in one of them corners somewhere in that little piece of shit that you probably reside in. And sit there patiently and wait until I get to you. When I turn the phone lines on, then you can call up. Until then, sit there Indian style with your legs folded and cross and with your legs crossed and fold your hands and face the wall until I get to you. All right? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the goddamn post notifications. Now let's talk about the leverage. When wealthy people say leverage. It's hard to leverage when you don't have anything to leverage. Right? You don't got no capital. You don't have no assets. You don't even have to understand it. Right? No protection, nothing that you diversified in, no exit plans, no reserves. What you hear when you don't have the cash flow and you think of leverage, you think of more trucks. You think of bigger risks. You think of faster scaling. You think of higher exposure. You think of thinner margins. That's not what leverage is when you don't have any capital. It's totally different, man. It's totally different. When I talk about leverage on the channel and I talk about how I use leverage in 3PLs, it was because of I had capital, I had people, I had trucks. Leverage means it already exists. It already exists. At the snap of a finger, I can turn it on and make that shit shake. If you say, yo, can you provide 5 trucks tomorrow? Yes. Can you provide 5 trucks by this time next week? Yes. Why? Because I got capital to go acquire, or I can go rent some trucks temporarily, right? Got manpower. We can do it. It's ready to roll. It's not something I have to go acquire. People that have assets, people that have wealth can use leverage versus people that can't. For instance, let's get off of trucking. Let me try to use a different industry. All right, let's look at real estate. You got two different people. You got a person that has a real estate portfolio, and then you have a person who doesn't. I got a real estate portfolio. I got a few properties, right? The way I would go buy another investment property would be different. Maybe say it's a person who is ignorant, who doesn't have the leverage that I have. The leverage that I have is other properties. What do you mean, Mark? I'm going to leverage another property to go acquire another property. I'm not going to use cash. I'm going to probably do like a HELOC, right? And I'm going to do a HELOC. I'm going to get a line of credit off an existing property. And then I'm going to take that money and invest it into a new property. I'm leveraging the assets that I already have. And this is something that the wealth use and they do. And this is something that person who's coming into a particular business, let's say box trucking, can't do. Or real estate can't do. They don't have those assets. So when you hear what I'm trying to give you guys different analogies and just different examples of understanding so that a lot of the people that are going to watch this in the future and the people that are kind of on that spectrum right now and they're kind of teetering on that spectrum, a different insight on why you shouldn't make the same mistakes and why you need cash flow and why you need working capital and how important it is. When you listen to these guys that are of affluence and of great wealth or already have asset portfolios, it may not necessarily pertain to an individual who's starting off very, very new that just doesn't have that. Hold on, let me clear this guy out. So I'm gonna get to your question. I already covered that at the beginning. I already answered that at the beginning. You must have came in late. When you come in poverty stricken at the beginning of your box truck business, and this is something I say all the time, I'm gonna say it again, especially when you are coming in with a mindset where the box truck, you're dependent on the box truck for everything, which to me is just, and this is where these guys get upset with me, bro. And this is how I know they ain't really paying no bills. Ain't no motherfucking way in the world. And tell me if I'm wrong when I open a line. How? And maybe it's just because I live in a goddamn high ass place, city. I just don't see how you can cover the cost of bills and cover the cost of expenses. I'm talking about modest with one box truck. But this is the mindset a lot of these guys have. So let's cover it from all aspects of cost. Outside, rent or mortgage, groceries. Well, this is without fucking daddy government. Child support, whether you paying child support or just supporting a child that's in-house, kids, period. Kid is a bill, right? Insurance. We know a lot of people don't have insurance. But this is something you should have. Like everybody should have fucking insurance, health insurance. You want to get your teeth clean. You want to go, goddamn it. And this is something I should talk about a lot. But every time I think, I'm gonna talk about it, this ain't gonna really interest people, and I know, and they're gonna get upset about it. But to be honest with you, while I'm just hitting this point right here, you should have insurance. And guess what? Insurance ain't fucking cheap. When you are a owner operator, or you a business owner, it's your responsibility. Ain't nobody there to match you 50%. I pay insurance. This shit is expensive. But I'm including that. And this is why I be like, yo, these motherfuckers can't be out here really living and paying real bills because there's no way. And this is why we got people dying at 50 now. Man, I know 4 or 5 people this year that's done died in their 50s. Why? Because they ain't got no fucking health insurance. They're not getting checked out. They're not going for especially us black men. We subjective to prostate cancer. I just had me a colonoscopy last month. And yeah, we got to go get shit checked out. Make sure we ain't got no polyps in our colon. Motherfuckers getting colon cancer and prostate cancer. You out there on the road eating all this bullshit and shit. You ain't got no health insurance. So let's cover all the bills outside the cost of the truck that a person should be paying. Insurance, health insurance, car insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, electricity, gas, transportation, whether you got a car note, insurance on that, fuel for that, discretionary spending, right? And this is like plus the cost of the business. And then people tell me, want to argue with me, oh, well, man, Mark, we, come from the struggle, man. We don't need working cap. We ain't got no working capital. And I'm like, well, why don't you just work hard and save it? So I'm thinking like you taking the risk of coming into business with no working capital in a volatile business. But I'm also thinking it from the outside, the aspect outside the business, all these bills right here. So I'm like, how's a person going to take a risk when they got all, or they should have all these bills? But I finally figured it out. I told you I was going to go off course. I'm just talking right now based off my bullet points, but I'm just talking. Because I'm thinking. And I'm like, yo, this shit really ain't that hard. Laziness, lack of hustle, bad intentions, that fuck a lot of people up. But ultimately, a lot of people that fails because they too over leveraged and too little cash, too little reserves. That's just the truth. They don't have what they need to be able to sustain the learning curve and have that longevity. Like we've had people that have come up. One of them is in here. It lasted 2 weeks. We had people last 30 days. We've had people last a week, 2 weeks. And they've gone through $10,000. It's just you undercapitalized. Let me turn on the phone line when I'm just talking, because I'm just really talking right now. I'm not gonna. The line is open. The line is open. We're gonna see if Buddy call up. He ain't gonna call up. And if he call up with some dumb shit, I'm gonna hang up on your goofy ass. On everything I love. Don't call up with no dumb shit, Buddy. So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say all that what I just said to say this. People that come from humble beginnings, the playing field ain't the same in comparison to people who have a cushion, a real cushion, who have a higher risk tolerance, who have things to fall back on. So you have to be very mindful of that. And you have to make sure that you give yourself a fighting chance. I think a lot of people don't give themselves a fighting chance. And ultimately, this is why they meet their demise very, very prematurely, because they don't give themselves a fighting chance. This is a business, it's not a hustle. The struggle, when you tell me, oh, I come from the struggle, that shit don't mean nothing. There's plenty of people that come from the struggle that build successful businesses, but they set themselves up right initially based on sacrifice and patience. The job that you want to quit to start this business, you may have to stay longer. The guys who talk to me who say, I've been on this job 20 years and I'm just can do it for myself. Something I've noticed, they don't have a cushion. So, okay, you've been on your job 20 years and you still don't have a cushion? That tells me something. If you haven't been able to save money on a job consistently for 20 years, and you've had 20 years to be able to figure out how to eliminate debt and lower your cost of living and things of that nature, and you haven't figured out 20 years transitioning into a business where all the responsibility is on you, and you haven't been able to do it in a more controlled environment, right? That's more control. They're dictating, they're delegating to you, and you haven't figured it out. So what makes you think you're going to be able to figure this shit out on your own when all the cost is going to be on you from the business perspective? You haven't figured it out from what you earn at your job and been able to build a cash flow net successfully in 20 years. So you mean to tell me you think you're going to be able to do it from a business perspective? And your personal cost of living is dependent on how well you set this business up and manage the funds and build the revenue up to be able to sustain the business and pay you enough to be able to sustain the cost of living that you haven't been able to figure out how to sustain successfully being on a job for 20 years? Make it make sense. But when I tell people this, they get upset. If I've been on a job 20 years and I've gotten, let's say, a 2 or 3% increase every year, and I don't have anything, that tells a lot about the individual. And there's a 99% chance that they're not going to succeed in business. Because managing that business cost is going to be a little bit more, you haven't figured out how to manage your cost of living. Daniel, the line is open, bro. And I see you haven't called. So there you have it. Sosa, your question. Your question is what was your question? This person, he's not gonna call in. I told you, you want to call in, call. The line is open. 312-772-5483. Let me see. I seen some. Mark, lenders. Notice. Hello. I answered and they hung up. Mark, lenders look at statistics. So since they use the data, why would they ever lend to startups? They don't. Banks don't lend to startups because it's too risky. Most new business ventures fail. That's why most banks require you've been in business 2 to 3 years before they even take a look at it. The likelihood of a new startup business failing is high. Most new business ventures fail. It's too risky. That's why they don't. One of the requirements is 2 to 3 years in business. Hello. So this person keep calling, right? And they just keep hanging up. So I heard a little kid in the background too. You see what I'm saying? These people got this time to play. Mm-hmm. Little kid in the background just got time to play. So these your box truck people, guys. These box truck guys, not the ones that know, that's taking care of business. That barrier to entry, that shit is a real thing, bro. That shit is a real thing, bro. Barrier to entry, Jesus Christ, bro. Three 312-772-5483. Maybe he building up his confidence. He made the call But as soon as I say hello, he hang up. He got to build up his confidence a little bit more. You know, when you do, I keep telling you, people that do this chat shit, bro, and these comment shit, these is the type of motherfuckers I'm telling you in real life on everything I love. These is niggas that got like real low self-esteem. They could never do this. This shit that I'm doing, they could never do this. Listen, these niggas got real low self-esteem. These is the type of people that when you see them in real life, this is what they're gonna do. Let me show you what they're gonna do in real life. Motherfucker got real low self-esteem, bro. Like real sucker type niggas in real life. Hold on, let me show you. You see these motherfuckers in real life, this is what they're gonna do. You see them, this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna drop their head. They can't even look you in the eye. They're gonna drop their head. Man, that's Mark. Man, ain't you? They're gonna drop their head. The motherfuckers that be in the chat with all that trolling shit and in the comments, these is like real loser type niggas in real life, bro. This is like they claim the fame type shit, bro. Like they go to channels and they try to find somebody that could take. I remember I was watching these motherfuckers fuck with this one white dude, man. They made that motherfucker start crying. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't handle him. He was just really trying to build his channel and look for friends. And, you know, he a middle American. He really didn't understand these is middle Americans that's fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? Because only a middle American gonna do some goofy shit like that. You dig what I'm saying? So he didn't really know how to combat it and shit. I felt bad for him, man. You dig what I'm saying? So the key is these niggas is suckers. So what you do is you call them out. See, over here, I'm gonna drop the link for your punk ass, and I'm gonna let you call up. And you see they not gonna do it. See, you gotta meet them at the door with it. That's the trick. But you gotta be able to stand on that shit. You gotta be able to out-talk them, out-Jones them, all that shit. If you can't do it, then don't do this. Don't do it. You ain't tried calling shit, punk. Listen, hey, sucker, you ain't tried to call shit. Nigga, the phone rang. We heard it ring. They heard me answer it. You hung up. You ain't tried to call nothing. You called and you hung up because as soon as you heard me answer the phone, your heart started. You got scared because you knew it was on at that point. You got scared. Your heart started beating fast. We heard the phone ring. They heard it ring twice. They heard when I answered it. Every single thing is a chime. When you call, it's a chime. When I answer, it's a chime. When the call ends, it's a chime. They hear it. This is live. You ain't tried to call shit. You want me to call you back? I got your number here, pimp. Area code 239. I ain't gonna say your number out loud. You know what I'm saying? 239, that's you, right? See, he knew what it was. When he called, I said hello. That motherfucker heart started beating fast. That motherfucker got scared in the motherfucker. He like, damn, now I gotta Daniel Morris. Then you want to troll with your government name. You know, we been found you. We already know where you from, what you got going. That's why I'm confidently telling you ain't got shit. We already did what we needed to do. You trolling with your government name. How stupid is that? And you called me with the number. We already done skip trace that, pimp. I tell you, middle Americans, man, y'all really be meeting y'all match when y'all come up against a city slicker. Y'all motherfuckers don't know what to do. Y'all go to these channels and y'all be fucking with these middle Americans and y'all just be making y'all a little day fucking with these people from channel to channel. Then y'all come across a city slicker and y'all don't know what to do. Motherfucker look you right in your eye and say, man, call. Let's have the conversation. And you can't do it. Daniel Morris. Heart beating like a motherfucker. Like, damn, this nigga actually answered. Hell yeah, I answered. Come on, Daniel. Don't be scared, man. I ain't gonna hurt you too bad. I ain't gonna hurt you too bad. Come on, tell us about your Section 8 and how you living off the back of a woman. Tell us about how you living off that woman and her Section 8 and her kids. She got kids, Section 8, and you living off her. Come tell us about it. We want to hear it. Come on, Daniel. Daniel, come tell us about that woman that you living with them kids, and you living off of her, eating up the food and shit. You changed your mind, Daniel? Because you was doing a lot of trolling in the chat. Remember Martin Shkreli? He used to do people like this when they used to troll. He'd call people out. He'll do his little thingy thing behind the computer. He'd be like, Michael Johnson, 123 Main Street. Hey man, your wife know what you be doing on the computer. Martin, please don't. No. Hold on. No. You weren't talking this shit a minute ago. Do your wife know what you got going on? You know what I'm saying? Your little extracurricular shit with the other woman? Martin, please stop. No, because you wasn't talking that shit 10, 15 minutes ago. Daniel, where you at, big dog? Come up. Let's have a conversation. 312-772-5483. Did I put the number on the screen? There you go. Let me make it easier for you. There you go. He hung up. He won't even let. He called and then he hang up. He's scary than a motherfucker, boy. Hey, Daniel, stop, bro. Stop while you ahead. It ain't gonna go well for you. Just don't even do it no more. This ain't gonna go well for you, Daniel. You are a middle American troll and just a country bumpkin. You just a country bumpkin. And just leave us alone. All right. Anybody else that want to call up and want to have a conversation based on the topic at hand is free to do so. We're not gonna entertain Daniel because we know he's scary. He ain't gonna call up. Anybody else want to call up? 312-772-5483. Topic only, please. Please keep it on the topic, please. Whether you got something to say positive, whether you got to say negative, whether you feel indifferent, make sure it's still on the topic. 312-772-5483. Don't pay Daniel no mind. He ain't gonna call up because he ain't got no conversation. He's not articulate. He can't substantiate anything. He has nothing to say. He's not a person who is valid out here in the real world. He's a nobody. So there's nothing. You're not gonna get anything from it. So anybody else that has anything that they want to include in the topic to keep the conversation going, 312-772-5483. The line is open. I know some of y'all want to see Daniel come up here. You want the entertainment, but he's not brave. He's not brave. He's not going to do it. He's not brave. He's not a brave individual. And this is why I be doing the links and the numbers and shit, because I have to prove to y'all a lot of these guys that's troll is really suckers. They real suckers in real life. Hello.
Sure. Hey, it's Daniel. Looking for Big Mark.
This is who?
Daniel, looking for Big Mark.
What's up, man? I knew you. What's up with you?
Oh man, that wasn't me calling the last couple of times. I think I had the wrong number.
Oh, that wasn't you?
I was listening to your live and your phone kept ringing.
So
it wasn't me calling.
So your last name is Morris, right?
Yeah, government name.
What's up with you, dog?
Nah, man, I was just being a smart ass.
Well, you think it's convenient to be a smart ass while I'm out here trying to really help people? You think that's
Nah.
Huh?
Nah, not at all. But
so why do you do it?
Nah, I was just trying to be funny.
But don't you think it's a time to be funny and it's a time not to be funny?
Yeah, I figured you would just block me.
I don't block people. I'm not no sucker. Like, for me to block you, you really got to do something very, very detrimental. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit different. See, most of your content creators, somebody else calling, but they got called back. Most of your content creators, they would block you, right? Because you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Because
You know what? I figured you would just ignore me and just not even, bring up my comments. I was like, wow, he actually brought my comments. I was like, wow. So I was like, you know what? I'm actually a big fan of your channel. There was a time I was going to, and why I'm actually listening to your channel right now is there was a time in my life where I was going to buy a box truck and actually, try the over the road thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going on YouTube. I was searching around and looking around. I found a few different people, and it was looking good. I was like, man, on the load board, this doesn't look too bad. And then I found your channel
Mm-hmm.
probably about a year ago, and then you started really breaking down all the. It's been a minute since I watched your channel. The what do you call that? Cost per mile.
Yeah.
Cost per mile.
Mm-hmm.
What it really takes to get started. And
Mm-hmm.
then I really started to reevaluate everything. I was like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
This is probably not the greatest idea. So I backed off, and it was actually because of you. This is why I backed off.
Okay. Do you regret
Yeah.
backing off, or you just didn't think based off the information I was given that you probably were a little bit too in over your head at that time, and you just wanted to take a step back and assess?
Well, it's like what you said on your it's like what you said on your channel a lot. Like they sell you the dream, right? And it looks really good. It does, and it's like kind of alluring to the untrained eye.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was so happy I found you because you really painted the picture of what it can really look like and how bad it is. I was like, you know what? And it made me nervous. I was like, nah, I think I'll play it safe. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm actually happy where I'm at, and I don't think this is for me.
So you're actually you're not a bad guy after all.
Nah, I'm just being a smart ass. I try to be funny sometimes. That's sorry if you took it as disrespect. Over through text messages, it can sound kind of stupid. But I was just trying to. That's it. Just be smart.
Yeah, it don't work with a guy like me. See, me, I'm gonna use it to my advantage. And it just like how it surprised you, it surprises a lot of people. So hello?
All right. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, that was it. I'm a big fan of your channel. I say stupid shit sometimes. I can't help it. It's not just you. I do it all the time.
Okay.
My delivery sounds a lot better than through a message on the fucking computer screen. So some people could take it as disrespect, but it's just just trying to be smart. But I'm a big fan of the channel. I'm glad you're around, and keep doing what you're doing, man. That was, you helped me out, so
Appreciate you.
I'm sure you're helping a lot of people out.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling up.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
See you later.
Yep. See how easy that was, guys? See? All right. Now, whoever this 239 guy is, you keep calling, but then you keep hanging up. So now we know that the 239 ain't Daniel. We see that the 239 is either somebody who just has really poor service, or they just scared. They scared. Because they probably really got something to say that they know they're going to have to, Hello? Hello?
Hello.
What's up?
How you doing? This is Daniel from Jersey. I just want to say everything you're saying is facts. I ain't gonna hold you. Everything you're saying is facts. Because right now I'm in debt and I got rip and run to pay that off, but that could have been put in assets and savings.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you're saying is right. I just want to let everybody know what you're saying is right, just in case somebody, nah, what you're saying is facts.
Appreciate that, bro.
That's straight facts. Yeah. I'm going through it right now. So I got to pay off my girl's debt and my debt. So that's a mess you don't want to be in. I'll tell anybody, I'm a trucker too. So I'm over the road, away from my family, paying debt. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Once you get yourself out of it, then you know better just next time to just not get in it. Once you get out of it, then you'll be all right.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I do have a question regarding business though. So I'm thinking not right now until I pay off my debt and get like working capital and whatnot.
Mm.
I'm an over the road truck driver, but I do plan to in the future possibly just thought to open up a business. Would you recommend just have a separate account for that to
Oh,
save for that business, or
yeah.
okay.
Probably something that's not even easy for you to access. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. So if you know you don't have that level of discipline to not touch it, then try to make it hard to access.
Okay, for sure. Should I open LLC, or that just something that should not be in the work until I have the funding for that business? Then I could start doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably hold off. Just create a separate personal account, and just that'll be just the account for you saving up for your business.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, man. I don't want to hold up the line just in case some others call, but I do want to say, Mark, I'm not gonna lie. He been telling he the truth. So people over here talking, oh nah, nah. As a man, you gotta stand on your own, and if you make a mistake, you gotta stand to that. And I was not falling in the trap. I was low-key listening to other people that say, oh no, leverage debt. That's not in the position I'm in. I thought I was being slick with the system.
It don't work for us. It don't work for us that come from poverty and just the struggle. You know what I'm saying? It works. It's a tool for the rich. It's not a tool. It's a hindrance for poor. You can get to that place where you can build up like asset portfolios where you can leverage that. But when you're starting with nothing, then like if we're already fucked up, why would we take on more debt?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? So
no, that's why we need these conversations, because at that time I was working the railroad, ripping and running, had like 10 racks in the account, had like 40, 50 events. That's not a lot, but that's I'm like, that's not bad for somebody in their mid-20s. Got into debt, man, just fucked all that up, so I had to retrace and regroup again, thinking that, you're being slick, like, oh yeah, the smart people use debt. But then you got these high credit lines, now you're in 20 G's of credit card debt, 20% interest rate. Oh yeah, you a slave to that company now.
Yeah.
You slave to Chase. And it's hard to say, but that's what happened. It's like, okay, now you got to pay that back. No matter how you cut, slice, or dice it, you just got to pay that back. You got to pay pimping back.
Yeah.
So you just got to take it how it is. So, no, what you're saying is facts. And anybody who wants to start a business, I recommend them listen to it, which is even life facts in general. Like cost of living. I was telling my old lady, I'm like, yeah, like cost of living ain't going to go down. I don't see it going down anytime soon. In Jersey, especially the Northeast.
Right.
You got $2,000 rent, $3,000 rent.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I already know.
Shoot, my fault. Shoot. I know Chicago ain't no better either. I got some guys up there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, everything you're saying is facts. Many blessings. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate you. Happy holidays, man, to you and your family.
Oh, likewise.
All right, man.
Bye-bye.
All right, line is open. 312-772-5483. That 239, you keep calling, but you keep hanging up. Whoever that 239 is, man. 239, man, I don't know, bro. I don't know. 239 number, you tweaking. But the line open, 312-772-5483. Topic, make sure it's topic-based, whether you agree, disagree, or indifferent. It don't matter to me because I can have the conversation either way. You don't have to agree with me. I'm going to have a conversation with you regardless. I've never backed down from a conversation. Probably the only person in this space that don't. I'm gonna give you the floor. Agree, disagree, indifferent. The 239 person, you can call up. You ain't gotta be scared. You ain't gotta be scared, big dog. 312-772-5483. Let's have the conversation. You dig? I think 239. I think 239. I think they feel a certain type of way. I think I hit them when I hit them with the living off the chick. I think that hit them a different way. I think they got some smoke for Big Mark. I think they got some smoke for the kid. I'm ready for it though. I'm ready for it. I ain't had a good challenge in a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah. So I'm looking for one. 312-772-5483, 312-772-5483. Let me get back to a few of these comments while we waiting for somebody to call up, or maybe the 239 area code person get their nerves together, get some courage about themselves. Let's see what we got here. Who we got? Appreciate those two callers for calling up, though. Shout out to Mr. Visionary in the building. 312-772-5483, 312-772-5483. All right. 312-772-5483. All right, take one or two more calls. I got a little time. You know, before we hit the gym, and go to dinner. Three 772-5483. Line is open. Do you like Freightliners? I think Freightliners are cool. Sosa says work hits different when you get a check and you don't have to pay everybody back. I agree. Being in debt is just not cool. A lot of people are in debt. A lot of people put themselves in debt. A lot of people just don't understand money and how it works and just the term leverage. And that's kind of why I kind of wanted to explain it today. And I wanted to differentiate what you hear online and just being a person who comes from the same walk of life from a lot of people who watch this content. That way of thinking, that ideology doesn't work for, like, you have to get in that situation. Like, if you're not in that situation, then you leveraging debt doesn't work the same from a person who just doesn't have anything. You know what I'm saying? So it actually kind of, like, I feel like you have to have assets, and then you also have to have the right mindset to be able to understand what it is, to be able to understand how to utilize, you know, that strategy, right? So the way I would have bought, you know, the way you operating with how do I want to say it? Being in a position where you have the actual knowledge and the assets to be able to leverage the debt is different than when you'd have neither. When you don't have the knowledge and you don't have the assets to be able to use. You know what I'm saying? So 312-772-5483. 312-772-5483. You know, everybody's waiting for this 239 person to call, but we know they're not going to call. Let's call them back. Let's see something. I never did this before, but they done called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Let's call them back. Hold on, let's see something. Nah, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna call them back. We ain't gonna get in the habit of doing that. Skip it. We ain't gonna get in the habit of doing that. 312-772-5483. We take one more call. I'm gonna set the timer up actually now, since it's set the timer. Timer's up. 5 minutes. Timer resets if we get a call. 312-772-5483. All right. Other than that, what else is going on out here in these streets? I saw that Amazon is testing 30-minute delivery in 2 U.S. cities. I think Philly and Seattle, at a cost of $3.99 for Prime members and $13.99 for non-Prime members. So I guess that's additional. You got to pay if you want 30-minute delivery. Orders below $15 would be charged an extra $1.99. Amazon now will operate out of a strategically located urban micro fulfillment center. So they got, I guess they're buying up smaller warehouses in certain markets, testing this in Seattle and Philly. Urban micro fulfillment centers where Amazon Flex on-demand workers will pick up packaged orders of food, snacks, personal care products, electronics, medicine, and other merchandise. So it seems like it's more essential-based stuff for right now. The center's position, I can share this. The center's, where did I leave off? The center's position essential close to neighborhoods and work districts, utilizing advanced systems that optimize product selection based on hyperlocal demand to maximize efficiency and speed. Amazon similarly created small, specialized facilities in the UAE designed exclusively for delivery. It also recently launched a 2-hour delivery service. They're on products from 30. Why is this? What is this, man? What is this? Why does this keep doing that? From 30-minute delivery options in the navigation bar. Hold on. Shoppers in Seattle and Philadelphia can check the Amazon shopping app and website for the 30-minute delivery option in the navigation bar to learn if they have the service in their area. They can choose from thousands of food, health, paper, electronics, snacks, medicine, and seasonal items. Amazon said, blah, 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 blah. So if you're in Philly and you a gigger, Philly or Seattle, and you a gigger, they got more opportunities for you to get some money. If you a gigger in Philly or Seattle. Savvy Sosa said, yeah, that should have more jobs. Or are they trying autonomous vehicles? Well, if it's in Philly, I don't think they're doing autonomous. Don't it snow in Philly? Do it snow in Philly? Does the weather get bad in Philly? In Seattle, I think does it snow in Seattle? Is the weather bad up there? Obviously Seattle, because that's where it's headquartered at. So they're gonna probably do a lot of testing there. But I don't know why they chose Philly. But I don't think it's autonomous. I think it's going to provide more opportunity for their gig flex, like they said. Then they're obviously charging an upcharge to Prime and non-Prime members to, I guess, kind of float the cost of this. But this is something I talked about 3 years ago on the channel. We know that delivery times are going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. Shorter and shorter and shorter, and we knew this day was going to come, and it's here now, and they're testing it. I think if it works in these test markets, they're just going to continue to buy small warehouses. They might not even stop at warehouses. They may start buying small storefronts and just stocking them as more centralized micro, like they said, fulfillment centers. And if it continues to work, they'll just probably start buying up more and more property. Man, if this works, man, I don't know, bro. I'm surprised the government is letting this go on, man. This is damn near like, it's like they really don't have no, I don't want to say that. I don't know. If this works and they start doing this and expanding and 30-minute delivery becomes a norm, they're going to have to buy up a lot of property. And I'm not saying that they can't. We know they got the cash. That ain't nothing. Cash ain't nothing. They printing shit. Cash ain't nothing to them, so they can buy. They can rent. That's going to change the game. That's going to really change the game. Well, we'll see how it works. We're going to see how that works. 312-772-5483. 312-772-5483. Do I think they'll merge with Uber or buy Uber? What benefit would they get for purchasing Uber? The rideshare business? I don't know. I'm trying to think of what benefit would Amazon get for acquiring Uber. I think if Amazon wanted to go into the rideshare business, I would think they would do it from an autonomous perspective. I don't think they would want to take on dealing with the people. And I think if they wanted to do a rideshare, I think their window of opportunity that's come. I don't want to say it's come and gone, but they could have competed, in the 2010s with that. I don't think they're interested in it. They do delivery, right? From their web sellers, from the shit that's purchased on their platform, and then obviously from Whole Foods. But they acquired Whole Foods, so I mean, I guess if they bought, let's say, Uber Eats, they could probably, transition that into their network. But I'm trying to think, why would they? I don't see what the benefit of it would be. Me personally, I wouldn't. If I was Amazon, I wouldn't. I'm trying to think what the benefit of them acquiring Uber would do. Just don't see it. That would bring on more operators onto the platform, right, to maybe meet the demand. But I think they got more than enough operators on their platform now for the demand that they currently have. So I'm sitting up here trying to think of the benefit of them acquiring it. There would have to be a benefit. I'm trying to think of. They don't need it for drone and autonomous delivery. Amazon is one of the few companies that are already piloting drones. Them, UPS, and FedEx. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't need it. They don't need Uber. It'd be different if Uber had something that they needed. They don't need it. They got operators. They have the technology. They don't really need it. I don't think they're interested in ride sharing. I don't think they're interested in freight because they already have their network of logistics where they broker and they got their own little load board thing. You don't really hear people talk about, but they're already in that business of moving freight. So they don't need it from the Uber freight side. I don't think they're really interested in the rideshare industry. I don't really think they're interested in the food delivery industry. I think Uber is, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Uber is all these years is still not profitable. So like, how many more years is it going to take for them to figure out how to be profitable? I don't like, like, eventually they're going to have to raise the rates of some of these drivers. They're going to have to do something. The platform itself has, from the quality of driver has really gone down, and they've let it go down because of, them going down on the rates of the drivers throughout those years when they were trying to IPO and become profitable. They raised the rates on the riders and they lowered the rates on the drivers. And I just don't, I'm trying to figure out, like, they're still not profitable. Like, and I don't think they know how to become profitable. So me personally, I don't think it would be a good investment for Amazon, to be honest with you. Not saying that they're not going to become profitable, but man, how much more do they have to go up on the passengers, and how much they're gonna have to go up on the passengers, and how much lower they're gonna have to go on the drivers without, uh, continuing to tamper with the integrity of the experience, like the platform is gone. And this is from a person who I took Ubers very early on, and I don't even take regular Ubers no more. I don't even take regular Ubers because, man, them shits be dirty, and they be in there stanking. A regular Uber is just not the same experience. You know what I'm saying? So, and yeah, I don't know, bro. I wouldn't. You said they would need volume. I think they got the volume. They got people ain't they still got people that's on the waiting list on Flex waiting to get on board? I think, here's the thing. I think they got the volume. They have people that are waiting to be on board and on Flex. I think as the cost of living keeps rising, bro, it's a lot of women out here doing Amazon Flex. It's a lot of women out here doing these deliveries. You see them, I see them. I see them in economy efficient cars. I see them, like I tell you, I saw a woman in a brand new BMW X7 doing this shit. So to me, that tells a story. That's not a person. That's not a woman who. Well, it's a woman who either one came up on hard times or two made a bad financial decision. But if you're in $100,000 truck, you don't buy $100,000 truck to tear it up. As a person who made a bad decision or a person who's came up on hard times. The point of the matter is the more people that are out here struggling, right? The higher the cost of living gets, the wider this gap gets from earnings and cost of living, the more people are gonna have to supplement income. I don't think these gig companies will ever have a shortage of people, to be honest with you, because it's going to be a rotating cycle. There's going to be people that continuously do it, right, as a full-time job. It's going to be people who cycle in and out, right? They come to it to supplement. They go away when they get on. They come back to it. You're going to have people who've never done it that are going to come up on hard times or make bad financial decisions, and they're going to cycle into it. And it's going to be a revolving door as things get tougher out here. To be honest with you, that's what I think. That's what I think. So, that's what I think. I mean, you can, like, I don't know, maybe middle Americans don't see it, but I see it. Like, I've never seen this amount of women doing shit that I've never seen women do before. I see so many women trying to lift these heavy ass boxes. The damn lady who delivered this sign, she called me down. It was a UPS. She called me down to help me bring it in. And I'm on the directory with her, like, because to me, it really wasn't that heavy, but it came in a big ass box because it was, there's a lot of cushion and shit in it, right? But just like, bring it in. She was like, can you come down here and help? I'm like, whatever. But I've gotten some calls like that this year on just things that I've ordered that might have been big or heavy or just awkward to carry and shit like that. And it's all women. So, it tells a lot. Either, not, tells a lot, man. Not gonna go into details. Said Bad John's doing flex. Yeah, see, back in the day, a Bad John didn't have to do nothing. A chick could get by just off of her looks. She can get with the right cat. She could work a job, but those twos and fews extra, Buddy would, chip in on that. You know what I'm saying? Buddy would carry that weight. But shit, a chick that's got a job, got to go out and get a second job, and Buddy may have to get a second job too. It's just what it is. So that's why I'm like, yo, you can just look around and see what it is out here. Shit real when you seeing, like, man, bad chicks doing this type of shit, man, that's like, niggas ain't got that extra little chop to go ahead, hey, baby, go ahead and get your nails done, you dig? They got to do it for the nail money, you dig? They got to do it for the hair money. They could work and get that money from their guy. A little, beautification money, but shit. Mm-hmm. You said that shit hurt your heart. Why it hurt your heart? Why it hurt your heart, bro? She gotta get it how she get it, man. She gotta get it how she live, man. She gotta get it how she live, man. Only thing you could do is help her out if you feeling charitable. You can, if you feeling charitable, you can help her out. You dig what I'm saying? So don't let it hurt your heart, man. Don't let it hurt your heart. You said you just got on Flex, been waiting for a year. See, you've been waiting for a year. That's what I'm saying. It's plenty of people waiting to get on that thing. It's plenty of people waiting to get on that thing. I don't think they never gonna be short of people, bro, in this economy and the way this economy is gonna continue to go, bro. I just don't. There's gonna always be a person that needs to supplement, bro. Whether they supplemented because they came on hard times or whether they supplemented because they made bad choices. Like I'm telling you, I've known people that have gotten cars this year and their justification of getting a car, that they couldn't afford, was signing up for DoorDash or Amazon. They knew they couldn't afford the car, but they said, well, I'm just going to do some extra Amazon to cover the note instead of just getting a car that they could afford. And then guess what? They get out here, they see that Amazon Flex and DoorDash ain't as sweet and as easy as those influencers make it out to be, right? Especially in a city like this. We've been snowing, right? So guess what? If you got that note, first of the month was yesterday, snowstorm Saturday. All right, you went and got that car, man. Shit, the first of the month is 2 days away. Fuck that snow. What you gonna do? You don't want to get out here and get it. You got to get out here and get it. You could have got the shit that you could afford and that your job would cover and live within your means, but you didn't. You wanted to get something extra and you wanted to justify getting it by doing this, but you realize it's harder than what you thought. And there's gonna be situations like this where it's snow and it's cold in the snow and you just want to cozy up. You dig what I'm saying? But no. You got to get out there and get it. So it is what it is. I believe Uber and Lyft will stay in the business for another 10 years. I mean, Uber is here. They got plenty of VC money. They ain't going nowhere. They can operate for another 10 years at a loss. They can operate another 10 years at a loss. They ain't got no competition other than them and Lyft put everybody else out of business. When it was a fight for ride sharing, I forget those. I know one started with a J. They ain't in business no more. It was another one that started with a V that was trying to compete back then. They ain't around no more. Why? Because the companies, Lyft and Uber, that had the venture capital, they were able to operate, take those losses, charge customers very, very low at the beginning to get people accustomed to using those platforms. They paid the drivers extremely high, right, to wean them onto the platform. Those people were quitting. I remember people was quitting their job to drive Uber because the pay was so good. And then the moment that they were ready to IPO, the moment they were in that sweet position, they crushed their competition because their competition wasn't able to compete, right? Because Uber and Lyft were operating cheaply, like people say. So they crushed their competition because they have billions and billions and billions of Andreessen Horowitz and everybody else's money that believed in the platform, right? Now they start to raise the rates slowly on the consumers and lower the rates on the drivers. Now these people done quit. They stuck in that hamster wheel that they thought they was escaping. And consumers are used to the convenience of the platform in comparison to a taxi cab, which they completely obliterated anyway, and they don't exist for the most part. The only place I can catch a taxi here in Chicago is at the airport. You don't see taxis just roaming the street no more. So you gotta call an Uber or a Lyft. And then just the convenience of the doorstep, not leaving out the house, walking a block or two until you see a taxi and hailing it, and then 3 of them going past you because they got a passenger, and then another 3 going past you because you black, and then you get the one guy that finally stopped for you 15, 20 minutes later, but now you don't walk 2, 3 blocks doing this. No, you call Uber, and they pick you up at the door. So now the consumer is accustomed to using it. So you can keep increasing the price on it, and they just going to continue to pay. So yeah, they put taxis out of business. I remember when the taxi cabs was boycotting and lobbying, and shit didn't matter. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. So at the end of the day, business is business. It's what it is, man. You got to understand business, and you got to know how to deal with it. Do I believe rideshare drivers get more money from the airport? I don't know. I don't know what they get in comparison not driving the airport. I can tell you as a passenger, a trip to and from the airport is way more expensive. A trip to and from the airport is way more expensive. So, so I'm assuming because you pay more, they get more. So here we tax to go to the airport. We tax to go to the airport. We tax to come from the airport. The city adds a tax if you catch a ride share to the airport. Additional tax on whatever the other taxes are. If we go to a game here, there's a entertainment tax. So if I go to a Bulls game, there's an additional tax for going to a Bulls game or a Cubs game or a Sox game. If I go, or a Bears game, if I go to the beach or park, there's a tax for that, on top of whatever the taxes are. So I can tell you the municipalities, as far as the city, state, local government, they're getting their fair share, right? And it's not costing them anything. They don't bear the brunt of any of the costs that are associated with the technology of the platform of Uber, and then the cost of operation from the driver perspective. They just get it just because they the city or the state. And then you see those taxes. So that's another reason why a trip to the airport is expensive. So I don't know from that aspect. I don't know if the driver is getting higher, because a big part of, like here in Chicago, our exorbitant cost of an airport trip is a lot of it outside of the fee is taxes, because we're taxed to go to and from the airport. So I don't know. I heard some of those cab drivers unalive themselves. Well, there was a lot of stories about cab drivers back then. They were upset. The smart ones just, if you can't beat them, join them. So it's just kind of like how I talk about the box truck people. If you failing and you complaining, maybe you should listen to the guy that's telling you to do something different or change your mindset, and join the winning team and jump on the other side of the sand. I think a person who kills himself or unalives himself, I should say. I just, I'm not finna do that because a company came in. Like, I'm just going to transition. A lot of the ones who transitioned, they transitioned over into black car, right? So a lot of them that were professional cab drivers, they're black car drivers now, they're livery drivers. Right. So, and then the ones that didn't become livery drivers, they just transition over to a regular car, I mean, if you can't beat them, you either going to join them or you're going to move on. So, Jason said he was paying over $3,000 a week in debt payments. VHO is still in business. Okay. I got to pay taxes if I parked. No, not if you parked. If you take a car to a city property like a beach or a park, there's a tax for that. Yeah. Here. So yeah, I'm gonna move the comments, man. I might move the comments up here. And then I can do the banner here. Maybe that'll maybe move them here. Yeah, cabs used to make buku bucks because they were taking advantage of drunkards. Ain't no way in hell I'm moving to Chicago. Y'all get taxed for breathing. Yeah, it's very expensive to live here. Very expensive. That's why I think, when I talk to people and I kind of sometimes I kind of get like why the pushback. But then what people gotta understand is the level of survival you have to live places like here in New York. Like you have to have a cutthroat mentality. You're not gonna get ahead. So this is why we are the way we are. Like I and you a lot of people that I talk to that got this complacent, soft-hearted shit, they would never make it here. Never. And the more comfortable you want to live, the harder you got to work, the more ruthless you got to be, the more cutthroat. You got to be one of them. You have to be. So, right, we get taxed for everything. We go to the grocery store, the groceries, they bag the grocery. We getting taxed on that. They tax us for the bags. Everything is a tax. We get taxed on water. You go buy a case of water here, if it's a case of 35, you getting taxed was a nickel for each bottle. So if you paying $7.99, that's the store cost for the water. Then you got your sales tax, city, state, county tax. Then there's an additional tax for each bottle of water in that case. I think it's a nickel. We get taxed for bullets. It's a bullet tax. It's 50 cents a bullet. So you go to the range, you buy bullets, 50 cents. Even if you using a range, 50 cents. So bullets is bullets, whether you buying them to shoot them in the range or you buying them to take them home with you. I think it's 50 cents. So we get taxed for everything. So, but at the end of the day, it's just what it is. It's like nothing you can do about it. So you just got to deal with it and keep getting to it. You know what I mean? So, well, unless you live outside the city, man, you got, the bullet tax is a state thing. The bag tax is a city thing. That's a county thing. So, the tax for, like we was talking about with the Uber, that all depends on where you catch the Uber at, I believe. So that's another thing, I was thinking about talking about, maybe you have to change your environment. Some people who want to build businesses, we talk about them lowering their cost of living. You may have to relocate. If you want the business to work and you live in a place where the cost of living is high, you might need to relocate to somewhere where the cost of living is low. So you said the poor and rich are getting farther apart. Yep. And I think a lot of that is due to a lot of different things, but one of the main things that I think that can be prevented, that can prevent a person from changing their mindset is just, I think a lot of people just need to stay out of social media. I think the poorer you are, the more consumed you are with social media. And, keeping up with the Joneses and just and just the wanting for material things. So I think people need to stay off of social media, bro. The poorer you are, the more behind you are, you need to just go on a social media hiatus. You need to go dark, social media dark. Turn your page off. Don't even delete the apps. Delete them. Stop looking at shit, seeing other people do, whether they doing it because they can or whether they capping. You don't need to see it. The ads that popping up that's trying to get you to buy shit that you really can't afford. Just get out of it. Stay away from it. Yeah, I think that shit's fucking people up. Yep. So if you have a strong mindset, then maybe that's different, but most people don't. So yeah, social media gets people in trouble all the time. So try to stay away from it. If you trying to change things around, I think you should put that on your to-do list. Get rid of your social media. Except for my channel. Keep my channel. But everything else you gotta get rid of. I ain't gonna steer you wrong. So you don't mess with TikTok. Yeah, I don't blame you. Ain't nothing on TikTok but a bunch of from what I see over there, a bunch of tomfoolery and people trying to sell you shit. The same shit that I'm telling you you need to escape. So stay away from it if you weak. All right, man. I don't think nobody else is gonna call up, so we're gonna close the phone lines. Whoever that 239 person was, they was too scary. So we're gonna close the phone lines, and hopefully, somebody got some type of value. I know a few people are upset, but who cares? At the end of the day, life is what you make it. You can continue to operate this box truck thing foolishly. You can continue to listen to people who really don't have your best interest in mind, that's selling you a dream, or you can change your mindset and go about things the right way. Face reality. An ideology that is designed for a wealthy individual is not going to work for you. It's going to be harder for you. And this is what I don't think people want to hear. They don't want to put the work in. They rather complain. So, so keep complaining and time is going to pass you by. All right? Peace.